Hey, what's up, everyone? And how's everyone doing today? Today it's August 22nd, and it's a Saturday. And what I'd like to say is that welcome to the Melvin Live show. And in case this is the first time you are coming in with us, this show is essentially about the things that I've learned as I'm building this one person, 1 million all digital business. And so, if that is something that you are looking forward to, in other words, if that is something that you want to work towards building a digital business that is just one person and to be able to generate $1 million in annual revenue, then this is the show for you. We share tips and tricks, tips and strategies, as well as one of the key things that I would always do is give you a behind the scene of how I do things. And so if you haven't, make sure you subscribe or like my Facebook page and follow along. All right. And in today's episode, what I'm going to share with you is about the four-pronged approach in building a digital business itself. Now, the reason why I talk about this four-pronged approach is because it's something that I've been studying for quite a bit. And I have actually put that into execution. And so the core idea behind this is that I want to be able to share with you. Just give me a second. All right. So that being said, I would like to kind of share with you what's been going on and what are some of the things that you can actually do. Somehow this is not working. So with the new setup itself, sometimes it's not working. So you're just gonna have to give me a second, all right? I'll be back. Right, and so this is a situation whereby if things can go wrong, things will go wrong during a live stream itself. So, in any case, this show is brought to you by Catalytic Courses. And so, the key idea with Catalytic Courses is that you want to have a course that can help you get started really, really quickly. And so, if you want actionable advice to build your to pursue your digital ambition, then definitely what you want to do is you want to check out Catalytic Courses. And so the place to go to is catalyticcourses.com. Now, with that out of the way, I want to share with you this four-prong approach to building a digital business. Now, you may be wondering why this four-prong approach and what is the purpose of this approach itself? Well, very simply, the core idea behind the four-prong approach is basically this. Number one is that it builds upon a set of principles. And as you probably know by now, if you have been following me for some time, that I am a huge sucker for principles. The reason is because you can have all the strategies and all the tactics that you want, but if you understand the principle, if you understand why things work and how things work and how things work in the world of digital business, then you will always be able to be successful, or you will always be able to identify the right strategy for your digital business. And so it's based on the core set of principles. The other thing is that this four-prong approach uses a comprehensive way of addressing certain issues that many first-time digital entrepreneurs, myself included, have mistakes that we make, and you definitely don't want to make those mistakes yourself, right? And number three, I think the other key thing about this whole thing is that I want to be able to use this as a way to kind of document my process. And so as I document this process itself, I also want to share it with you. And also that said, what are the four-prong approach in this aspect? So the first one really it's very simple, and the whole idea behind that it's the following. Right, and the main thing behind this is that you want to have a four-prong approach, and the four prongs are basically number one, the offer, number two, the market, number three, the reach, and number four, the process itself. So let's head on a little bit and let's take a look at what exactly does it mean. All right, so with the four-prong approach, basically what you're looking at is that you want to be able to say that, well, in the process of doing things, these are the four key aspects that you're looking at. And so the first one really is about the offer, because we have a passion or we have an area that we want to offer to our potential clients. And so with that itself, we want to be able to do it in such a way that we can offer the right thing to the right people. At the same time, we also want to make sure that the positioning is correct. So as an example, if you are looking at developing a solution for a client or a market segment itself, what is that product that you are offering? And secondly, you also want to be very clear in terms of what is the positioning that you're going to take. Are you going to be going after, let's say, you're going after the small businesses, or are you going after the big businesses? So those kind of things are something that you will definitely want to be able to address that. So that's number one. Number two is the market, and essentially that's basically looking at who you want to sell it to. And when it comes to who you want to sell it to, I think there are a few things that you can look at. Number one is you definitely want to look at which market segment you're looking at, right? And so, are you in a position whereby you have a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers, Or are you in a position whereby you have a lot of buyers, but very, very few sellers? Excuse me, I just need to turn on a little bit of a fan here. It's getting a little warm here inside the room. Okay, so that is the market. Who are you selling it to? The third thing really is that you want to be able to establish whether, how you're going to reach them. So there are some market segment that it's probably difficult, if not impossible, for you to reach them via social media. And if that's the case, what are you supposed to do, right? What are you supposed to do if they are not in social media? Some examples could be SMEs, business owners, for instance. They might not be on the social media platforms that you are using, right? So that's something that you want to constantly be able to identify and to be able to identify accurately. And lastly, of course, is the process itself, right? And when we talk about the process, essentially what we're looking at is that, you want to be able to say that, okay, in this process, this is my sales process or how it looks like, right? And so these are the four areas. And what I'd like to do is to kind of give you a little bit of an glimpse in terms of how I've been doing it. So over the last couple of weeks, I have been doing quite a fair bit of research looking at a new market that I wanted to enter. And so with this new market itself, I have an idea, but what most first-time digital entrepreneurs mistake that they make is that they jump straight into their idea, or they start talking to people about that idea itself without even validating the idea. So unless you're selling something that is already known, for example, if you are selling, let's say, leadership courses, right? That is something that it's already known. People are familiar in the market. People are familiar with these kind of programs in the market itself. And you know that there are other people providing such training. You already know that, that program is going to be in demand. It's just that whether people are going to engage you or somebody else. And so, but looking at that from that angle itself, I think there are a few things that we want to look at. So instead of just jumping in, one of the key things that I have to do is to establish that the offer, it's actually something that people want. Now, I've said this many times before, but the key idea behind this is that you want to be able to recognize that when you are using, when you are presenting the offer to people, you want to be as stealthy as possible. And what I mean by that is that you do not want to go out there and ask people, hey, would you want this tool? Because generally there's going to be two responses that people are going to give you. Response number one is that people are going to say, yeah, I love it. Where have you been? I love this tool. And this is exactly the tool that we need. That is way number one. Now, second way is that, people would be saying like, well, it's not something that I would want. And so where do you go from there? So the key idea behind this really is to be able to validate that your offer is something that people want. Once you're able to validate that offer itself, then of course the next part is that you want to know who are the people that you're selling to. And here it's where you could determine whether are you going to sell to corporates, or are you going to sell to individuals, or you sell to companies, or you sell to small and medium-sized enterprises. I mean, who are the people that you are selling to, right? And so that's something that you would definitely want to consider, and that's definitely something that you would want to put in place. And so the core idea behind this is that once you have determined the offer and the market, then you go for the third part. It's how do you reach them? And of course, in our digital business perspective, the main thing that we want to do is to be able to reach them on a digital platform, and that platform ideally should be a platform that you can advertise at a cost-effective way. And so currently, right now, there are a few things that we could do. One, of course, is that we can look at marketing to them on social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, for example. You also want to be able to establish that once you're able to reach them, what is the process that you're going to take them through? What is the sales process? Or to think about it in a slightly more sophisticated manner is to say that what exactly it's going to be the what might you call that? What exactly is the customer journey going to look like? Now that is crucial because you want to make sure that you have control over the entire experience itself. And so once you've mapped out all these four areas, you will then be able to get a better